word. That's like mayonnaise. I'm assuming that's the biggest word I know.
Ooh-wee. Hello, everybody, and welcome on into another episode of The Blitz. Is it week 14 already?
I know. I can't believe it's week 14 already.
Seriously, this season, man. And we say this, I'm pretty sure this exact show last year, I said the exact same thing on our intro. This season is just plain flying by, my friend. But it's been a damn good one for us here. And I got to say, chat's on something today. Like, I'm not going to lie. I've been dragging today. I didn't have my green tea this morning. That's my usual caffeine boost that gets me going. And I considered popping the energy drink. And then instead, I saw all these comments already flooding the chat before we even got started here. We've already got 100 concurrents to start off the show. And I don't think we've even tweeted about this. Justin, I don't know if you have access to the Twitter account, but if we want to throw a tweet out for the show, feel free. But man, everybody is hyped and ready to go. We had a great Thanksgiving. How about you, Derek?
Yeah, no, it was a great Thanksgiving. Just a great week last week. It was my best week of the year. Personally, show plays did really well. It's been, I feel like we were in the same position last year around this time where we said, all right, the year started off a little slow and then, we stuck with the process and it's been like my season long numbers at this point, like look good. Like It's been a good stretch the last few weeks. Hopefully we can keep it going now. There's I think we have 10 plays lined up to talk about. So it's looking like a good week.
Yeah, of course. Like last week was the best week that we've had so far. And I was in California, so I couldn't quite hit everything. I did make my way over. It was very funny making my way over to Nevada so that I could get bets in as opposed to usually going from Nevada to Arizona to get some stuff in. Of course, I got to talk about it. The bad beat that I had.
I could not. This one is not even fair. Like you texted this to me and I was like, it's just not fair.
Yeah, just absolutely absurd. I've got 5 of 6 here. And for the uninitiated, Rachaad White was at 36 yards with 6 carries going into overtime, which again, we shouldn't have even been there.
Even been in overtime to begin with. And then in overtime, he stayed under this number until there was like 5 minutes left of overtime.
He had 2 carries, and I was like, I've got to be sunk on this, but he went backwards 2 yards. I'm like, oh my God. And then he had 1 carry in overtime that got him straight to 38 on the nose. I was like, holy crap, I'm still okay. And then
Tampa Bay had a chance to kick a field goal and end it, and they missed it. Yep. And then, oh my God, no, it was that's the worst beat to have that in a parlay.
Yep. And then, Milo saying didn't White go over the number and lost 5 in regulation. He didn't go over the number. He was right there in regulation, and then he lost, and then he lost yardage. He wasn't quite over it yet, but it was just absolutely absurd. The only thing that made it better for me was the fact that I hit on an absolute luck box of college football props because I wired in basically. I pulled up the wrong unabated projections for college football and hit 6 plays that were completely random numbers, and I was able to hit that. So it made me feel a lot better on that one. I'm not sitting here crying. But what's the motto here saying? Not late to this one. Crazy Carl saying Levis, Carty, nice one. Shout out to Justin for the absolute phenomenal face swap jobs. But
yeah, that's so good.
We absolutely missed on the fact that Derek Carty was right there. And I'm the Derek Carr.
It was staring you right in the face and you missed it.
Yep. Can't believe we didn't think of that before that point. Ethan Craig saying anyone else forget Rashee Rice is injured, bro. I forgot Rashee Rice was playing in the league. I haven't thought about that man since he got injured. And hey, we've got a couple other ones. Crazy Carl saying no, the Chiefs could really use him here. Milo, of course, saying hello. Boglor is here saying ahoy. Prop time live. Don't worry, I promise you. I don't know. I haven't quite looked at your plays there, Derek, but we will be talking about Chuba Hubbard.
We can talk some Chuba later.
Yeah, we will talk Chuba. Feels like Monty going over on the hook
last night. Last night I had, and it was just brutal. He was like 4 under with like a minute to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then they rush him on third and 1 in easy field goal range, and he misses it to stop at 13, and the number is 13 and a half. And then they go for, or no, that was only 12. and then they go for it on fourth down for no reason whatsoever. And then they give him another carry after that to go over the number. And it's just like, give me a break.
Mm-hmm. I did the same thing. I mean,
we're
I
not gonna have any of that this week. This week,
yeah,
variance is all going in our favor.
I mean, I texted you because last night I went 0-4. It was, of course, the first time, and we'll see if you're just frozen there for me, Derek, or we need to get you back in. There we go. Yeah, we're good. Last night, I, of course, finally was like, okay, I'm upping my unit size. Immediate over 4 night. And like, even when I was placing them, because I texted you, I'm like, I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs under carries, and I know he's going to lose this, but like, the edge was there. I had to do it. Same thing with Aaron Jones.
For him, the under yardage for him won. Like, it's just one of those nights.
Yep. But hey, it is what it is. Crazy Carl saying he got crushed last night, but today is a new day, and we have a whole bunch that we want to talk about. Real quick, last thing, let's wrap up last week because we went 6-2, 4.38 units up. We're 46-33 on the season for a solid 14 units, and that's just from show plays. Of course, if you had yourself an unabated subscription and you were partnering that with the Blitz projections there, you've been doing even better than that because you're able to find all of your own edges. And now is a great time to take advantage of our Cyber Monday deal, 40% off unabated premium. You can get the entire year for $13.88. Can't beat that. Like, that's the best price that you're going to get for anything on unabated premium this entire year. You're going to get the annual for just $13.88. Head over to unabated.com/pricing. Sign up today. Pair that with a Blitz subscription to get the rest of the season there, and you too can be printing money with us. Someone's going to be mad at me for saying that, but oh well. All right. Last week, I mean, just phenomenal here. Our only 2 losses were Jaden Daniels over rushing, and let's face it, we could have gotten there. And we did actually
2 yards and got like 8 carries or something like that. Easily could have got there. Yeah.
And amazingly, after all that, we lost Chuba last week for the first time.
It had to happen at some point.
Yep. Had to happen. Very sad, but we got everywhere else. Rashad Bateman didn't have a catch, right?
No, he got injured I think midway through the game too.
Oh,
so
that's
that was an easy one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an easy one. Calvin Ridley didn't come anywhere close. I know that we're going to be talking about him later on. Justin Watson was a super easy one too.
Yep. I think Carr was almost there by halftime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Carr. I mean, we love that prop. We've hit that prop multiple times, but Carr, he's captain check down.
Yeah. No, it was a good week.
Yeah. All right. But hey, it's a new week. We're on to another one here. Let's get started. Our first play up, we are going to be talking about Nick Chubb.
We are looking at Nick Chubb over 10.5 carries plus 102 at FanDuel. They're hanging a number that's way off from the rest of the market, but you can see even at, minus 130 or minus 125, you're still getting great value on the Chubb over here. Last week, he basically split carries with Jerome Ford, and I think maybe that's why this line is so low. Also because, Cleveland has just been super pass heavy. But I think there's plenty of avenues for him to get here. They said that the Ford usage last week was kind of like a matchup-based thing. I would expect Chubb to still be the guy in most games getting the majority of the carries here. This game projects as the fastest-paced game of the week, the most plays of any game by far. So just total play volume in general should be great. They have been pass-heavy, extremely pass-heavy, but you have to wonder if they're going to pull back on that just a little bit with all the turnovers that Jameis Winston is going for right now.
You have to experience the full Jameis coaster.
Yeah, I love Jameis, and
everybody does.
I added over attempts last week, and that worked out very nicely. He was there by halftime, but I think there are different ways that this can hit.
Yeah.
At the very least, though, even with just a reasonable assumption for his share of the carries, I think I'm for like 55 or 60%. I have them very pass heavy. He still projects almost 4 attempts over this. So this one looks fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, it's that AFC North rivalry game. You're not going to, there's no way that they're going to be sitting there saying, yes, we are airing the ball out with Jameis Winston 80 million times this game. Nick Chubb is going to get carries. This is going to be one of those gritty smash mouth football games that we all know and love out of the AFC North.
Yeah, and it looks like it just moved minus 114. Still going to be the best line on the board. Still more than willing to hit that. But, this is why you watch live. These lines are going to move.
Exactly. And this is one that I was just simply, I'm just praying to the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. And the Lord is not listening to poor Jameis there. But oh my God, he is just, it is an absolute crime that we did not get him for a full season. It's a crime that we have not gotten him every season. What were the Buccaneers? What were the Saints thinking having him as the backup? You have to play him.
Yeah.
I'm
but we have him in our lives now.
Exactly. And I am absolutely one of those people who I hope to God the Jets sign him to be their quarterback next year. Because if we're going to suck, I at least want us to be the most watchable team in the league. We have been unwatchable for like over a decade. If we're going to get all these unnecessary primetime games, at least make it fun.
I mean, that would be fun, and it would be an upgrade at quarterback. So go Jets.
Exactly. All right. Cheeseburger Eddie pointing out with God, all things may or may not be possible. So write that down. Brown's doing the heavy lifting on that pace in the Nick Chubb game as well. Also very true.
they are, but the Steelers do play pretty fast too.
Yeah. Let's talk real quick. What's the modest here? Talking about 36.5 for his yards seems a little low.
The yards look good too. I just like the carries more.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the Blitz is projecting 56. Still very healthy profit expected on 36.
And of course, it is now at minus 114. It did just move on us. I was vamping too much and could not get it down in time. But hey, proof that I'm not front running these lines for everybody. All right.
Yeah.
Next up on our slate here, Derek, where are we going to be headed? Because we are going to be going to one of the receivers that has been, I'm thinking of Cedric Tillman, and we are going to Cedric Wilson instead over on the Saints here.
We're going to Cedric Wilson. I think FanDuel pulled this line down before. I don't think that's there anymore. If someone wants to tell me it is, we'll use this. Otherwise, I think right now this is our only book with it, but it's showing massive value. So we're just going to hit that before every other book opens at like 1.5 minus 130 or something.
Yep.
Actually, maybe
nobody go and bet this line. Wait for me to get to Arizona tonight where I can bet it, and then you can go bet it.
Yeah. Cedric Wilson is like maybe the biggest name receiver on this Saints offense right now, but he's like the third or fourth wide receiver option and like the, I don't know, 6th or 7th overall option. MVS is kind of the lead right now. Someone named Kevin Austin, who came up from practice squad a couple weeks ago, has been running as their number 2. Dante Pettis has been getting work. Obviously, they have multiple tight ends they work in. Kamara. Cedric Wilson has not been playing much. He played 20% of snaps last week. His target share over the last 3 weeks is like 1.5% or something. Like he's just not really involved in this offense. So a 2.5 line is just it shouldn't be 2.5.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is not. Everyone is confirming it's not up. If it's not up on there. Daniel Schlager saying if you can still bet on Bet Rivers, you must be really bad or have a lot of friends. Second option for me there. But very true. Very, very true. Like no one is up on these receiver markets right now for this game.
FanDuel had it up this morning for a little while, and then they took it down probably because they got hit hard and realized they shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
If Rivers is off the board too, was Rivers off the board like when we talked about it initially, guys? Because if it was, then we won't count it. Obviously.
Andrew's saying it's off the board at Rivers, so I think that might be one that we have to put.
We won't count that for the record. Then, if no one can get it, I mean, we want to be fair about this, but that sucks because that was a really good line.
Yeah, Stephen Hawker saying under 2.5 minus 160 at no vig. So if you want to see that, but yeah, we will take that one. Chad Martin saying he got there though. He hit the receptions on FanDuel this morning, and they pulled the receiving yards before he could hit that too. So good on Chad. Chad gets there.
Good for you. It was there, and great value. So if you got it, that's awesome.
It also really is great for Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Like just to have that career renaissance finally after so many years with no good quarterback play. Derek Carr was the answer to unlocking his full potential. He had to get away from the trash of Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes.
Clearly.
Yep. And Evan Pelfrey saying, hey, respect the transparency as always. Hey, I mean, like, yeah, we're not here to rip anybody off. We're here to make everybody money. And we're always going to be honest about all that. What's the modest saying? MVS, though, only at 36.5. And I know that we have a lot of props to get to, and I'm not being conducive to that. But we're answering questions as we're going here. And I mean, I don't know that I was kind of expecting to go over on this one just because of the fact that if he's going to catch 2 passes, they're going to be for like 70 yards, like he is the boomer bust.
Yeah, he's super boomer bust. I feel like this is a high number for a boomer bust kind of guy. I was expecting the blitz to be a little higher, but they are outdoors, so they're not in the dome. They are facing the Giants, so much more of a running game script than they normally have because it's the Giants. So I can kind of see this. Probably not enough for me to bet the under, but I'm definitely not betting the over, I guess, if that's the projection.
Going back to Cedric Wilson for a second, Changing 500 says Wilson rush plus receiving is under 13.5 minus 114 at ESPN, while Ethan Craig says under 13.5 yards minus 110 at Betway, still out there for Wilson. And I mean, obviously, if you can get it without the rush yards, that's even better. Prop time live.
I mean, 13.5 is probably about where it should be. The yardages that were up on him were like, I think 28s. So if it's only 13, you're probably not looking at a ton of value there.
Yeah. Yahtzee saying the number is coming down on MVS. So, hey, I mean, there's a reason that I'm not the right person to talk about it. Mo Dinero saying 13.5 at 365. Also, prop time live. No, we're talking about Cedric Wilson, not Michael Wilson there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on to the next one here, though. This is one I hit his reception market a little earlier, but you're liking the yards here. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, either one is going to be fine. They both project for good value. This is one we did last week as well. The yards look just a little better than the receptions to me. So I'm looking at that here again too. Under 67.5, even money at 365 is our best line. But pretty widely available, good value pretty much wherever you're going to bet it at. I mean, Ridley's good, but the Titans are not. He's been getting a ton of volume. And they've been giving him, some design stuff, which makes me like the receptions a little bit more, or the yards a little bit more than the receptions. They might throw some screens or some dump offs, that kind of stuff to him. But the yards looks good. The Titans are in a rare position where they're actually favored to win this game. So this is a team that has become very run heavy since midseason and might be able to lean on the run even more in this spot against, if they're up against Jacksonville. Slow paced game, so just total play volume looks pretty low. So this one is I'm going back to the well again this week.
Yeah, a Calvin Ridley revenge game against the Jaguars here too. Balin Hefferman saying 65.5 on MGM. Yeah, I mean we see that there 65.5.
Just took it off the board entirely.
Yeah, that is certainly because of us there. We can definitely take that. Balin Heffernan saying still under there. Yes, but if you can get over to bet 365, you're getting 2.5 yards extra for free there. So you might as well do that if you can.
What you see here, I mean, still 37%. That's still well, like easily bettable at that number. I'm good with that if that's all you have.
69.5 at Bet Online might be gone by now. I mean, that might still be there, but oh yeah, PPH live suspended the market. That is 1,000% because of us. And Derek, do you want to hit that pencil mark real quick because Howdy wants to know what his reception projection was?
3.76. We can look at the receptions. It shows good value on that too.
Yeah.
I guess if you have Fanatics, you can get it at plus money. But otherwise you're looking at, good value, but if you'd rather hit the receptions than the yards, go right ahead. I think they're,
We lost Derek there for a second. But yeah, I picked this. I picked this one up at even money and watched MGM move it to plus 105. So that was a little bit of a slap in the face, but hey, we'll deal with it. What were you saying at the end there, Derek? You cut off after the receptions market.
Am I cutting out again?
Yeah, you did cut out. You cut out for a second there, but I think we're good.
Okay. I can't tell. Am I the one cutting out or is Tom cutting out, guys? Because it looks to me like you're cutting out, so I have no idea which it is.
I'm gonna side with it being you because I have 2 gig internet speed.
Okay.
Yeah. The equipment. Milo's saying the equipment has a vendetta against Derek's voice. Everybody's saying it's Will Levis. Is Derek Levis cutting out here?
It is me cutting out. All right. I'll have to figure out why. All right.
we'll be okay. Worst case, if it happens again, maybe you hop out and hop back in. We'll see if that fixes it, but we should be good from here on out.
Okay. All right. So moving on, we are staying in the same game, and we are looking at, this has been one of my favorite to bet this year. We're looking at Tony Pollard under 16.5 carries, even money at DraftKings. I think Caesars and MGM are also that price. The Blitz is projecting a little under 15 here. This one's a little scary just because the Titans are favorites. They might be able to lean on the run more. And they have been leaning on Pollard heavily this year. But Tajay Spears is another week removed from injury. He didn't play a whole lot last week, but they kind of said it was because he didn't practice a lot that week. You know, he had the concussion. In the past, they've talked about is when Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are healthy, they want to take some of the load off of Tony Pollard. Tajay Spears is healthy this week. I'm hoping that we see at least, like a 65-35 split, if not closer to 40-60 or 50-50, where Spears has worked in more, especially given how much of a workload Pollard has had the last lots of weeks. Again, Titans as a favorite is not ideal for this, but I think this is really based on Pollard's body. Oh, DraftKings took it down again. Really based on kind of game log hunting Pollard, when I don't think the split this game is going to be representative of what Pollard's kind of been getting, most of the year.
Yeah, it is like, again, Tajay Spears is the one that's healthy now, and they have definitely shown. We've hit on a couple Tajay Spears overs over the course of this season as well. This is one I'm definitely partial to with you there. As scary as it sounds, I think that we'll be okay on it. DK back up at -110 now.
Yeah, Mo is saying ESPN has the even money. I think Caesars did too before when I looked. So you guys can shop around a little if the DK price is moving too quickly now.
I'll confirm Caesars for you in just 1 second here. Player rush attempts. Woof. No, it is -125 at Caesars now.
Oh, all right. Never mind then.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
well, yeah, -125, you're probably paying a lot for. If you can find it -105, -110, -115, you're definitely still good. Once you start getting to -125 or higher, at that point, I might wait for it to flip to 15 and see if you can get like 15 at plus money.
Yeah. And like take something like that where, because I mean, how many times have we seen that? Especially, I've noticed FanDuel will put up some where you're saying, oh, well, I'm getting fewer attempts. I'm getting a smaller number, but I am getting a price that is not commensurate to what I'm hitting.
Yeah, no, that will definitely happen sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Next up for us here, we are going to one of my favorites and my personal MVP. We're going to the Darnold.
We are looking at Sam Darnold. He's a guy the Blitz has liked pretty much all year.
Which, to be fair, he's given him reason to. I mean, we came so close on a couple of the 300-yard games to hitting on that.
Yeah, we have. So it's very close. I kind of like this Rivers line more, 20.5 -136, but you can take it, at the 21.5 or whatever. Darnold's good. It's a pass-heavy offense. They're indoors. It's a game that could wind up being a, kind of a back-and-forth shootout kind of affair. You can see the Blitz is projecting, what's that, 2.5 over the, 3.5 over the number. And yeah, I feel like this is a little too low because there have been games where Darnold hasn't gotten here this year. But I've mentioned on previous shows too, I think, where like he's had some weird games, just like short field situation stuff, or like blowouts, or like he throws 3 touchdowns with a long one and then they don't have to throw anymore. This game should be closer. I think we should see enough plays where Darnold gets here.
Yeah. As Yahtzee says, KOC rehabilitating all of the messed up QBs. It's true. He's running the Kevin O'Connell school for QBs who don't throw good.
Darnold has looked like he can throw good this year.
Yeah. He had that stretch where he was going down last couple weeks. Didn't look as good, but he's back.
Oh yeah, he's back.
Yep. As a Vikings fan, weird is an understatement. Yeah. The Vikings are the only franchise that can compete with the Jets for level of cursedness, except, the Lions. There's a couple up there, but it's certainly up there. All right. We're going back to the Titans game. We have 3 different props on the Titans game here. Connor Frazier saying most weekly passing yards. I have bet him several times for that. It has not worked out too well for me. I've hit it on Javis a couple times, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we are looking on the other side of the Titans game. We're looking at Mac Jones under half an interception plus 134. And it looks like our best line, but these 125s that are everywhere look fine too.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones isn't that bad. I mean, he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league. This projects as a slow-paced game, so play volume should be fairly low. And while we've talked about the Titans being a favorite in this game, pretty much whoever the Jaguars play is going to be a favorite. So, the Titans is probably, one of the better matchups you could get for them, maybe not having to throw the ball 1,000 times to catch up because it'll be a close-ish game because the Titans are also bad. So this one shows good value, and especially if you can get it at this number, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those props that's a little volatile, and you're saying, okay, well, he's not going to throw that much, and they're going to be careful. They're going to be more conservative with him. They're not going to ask him to do too much, and that's what you want in one of these plays.
Yeah, Etienne and Bigsby are both healthy now. They should be able to lean on the run a little bit. I like the odds on this one.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Here we go, Derek. I bet this yesterday, and it feels I'm very happy about the fact that a couple of these props on here, I'm like, oh, I took that yesterday. Rachaad White.
Yeah, I was waiting just to make sure that Bucky Irving practiced today, which he did. We're looking at the wrong market here, rushing yards. Rachaad White, we are looking at under 40.5 minus 108 is our line here. He owes us from last week. It's as simple as that. He owes us from last week, so this one's a lock.
Exactly. All the analysis you need right there. Plus, could be a good Sean Tucker game. Finally.
It could. At the very least, I think it should be more of a Bucky game. White tends to play more when they fall behind. They like his pass protection. They like him, his pass catching ability. Against the Raiders, they'll probably be playing from ahead. Probably see some Bucky Irving, some Sean Tucker mixed in a little bit. Yahtzee pretty much hits the nail on the head here. I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yep.
It doesn't feel good doing this one, especially after last week, but I still think it's the right process play, so we're going back to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, last week was a bad beat. Sports Video saying, is there any chance Bucky misses? He's been practicing. We should be good.
Yeah, he didn't practice yesterday, but he practiced today. So unless something kind of crazy happens, I would expect him to play. Yeah, he's listed questionable officially as of 40 seconds ago. So I expect him to play. If he doesn't, then this is dead.
Yeah, which will be a big problem for me. But hey, we will live with that. All right, next up here, the man that every fantasy tout was pushing before the season started. You have to go out and draft Blake Corum, and here we are.
One of the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
It was so. I talk about it a lot with Coach Speak Index. Like if you're not using Coach Speak Index as a tool, you should be. It's just so valuable. But if you followed Coach Speak Index or were in the Discord, you knew Blake Corum was not going to be a thing. They love Kyren Williams. It was Kyren Williams' backfield. Corum was only going to really get any kind of chance if Kyren got hurt, and that's been the case. And I think this line here is a bit of an overreaction to last week, where everyone still wants Blake Corum to be a thing. And we saw last week he got 6 carries. They all kind of came on that second drive where, again, Coach Speak Index picked up on it. It was on his podcast this week. He was talking about it. They played Blake Corum on the second drive, usually just to give Kyren a breather. Sean McVay came out after the game and said, yeah, we played Corum a little bit just to keep Kyren fresh. This is not Blake Corum getting an expanded role, I don't think. And so I'm kind of still expecting him to just be the guy that gets a couple carries to spell Kyren Williams, and that's about it. Under 18.5 at Bet365 here is our best line. and I'm on board with it because I don't think his role has changed at all based on last week.
Yeah. Andrew Brennan chatting you out there saying, I still remember your tweet saying buy the dip on Kyron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you should, I mean, yeah, thank you. I forgot about that, but you're right.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no, that was when everyone was freaking out that he was going to return punts. Oh my God, they'd never let him return punts if he's going to be the workhorse back.
Yep.
Okay.
Are they still having him return punts?
I don't think so. I think maybe week 4 they pulled him off of that. I could be wrong.
I mean,
I think because originally they wanted Xavier Smith was going to be their guy, but then they wanted to save a roster spot, so that's why they did Kyron. And then once they had some injuries, they had a spot for Xavier Smith. So I think he's the guy returning him now since week 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, I mean, they're also loading this dude up with 25 carries a game. That would be insane.
Yeah.
All right. Next up here, though, let's go. I mean, of course, we had to have a prop for Will Levis given the thumbnail this week.
We did. So we are going over here to look at. I didn't realize how many we have in this game. What do we have? Four props in this game. I don't think the correlation is super high on them though. So
yeah, we have a bunch of things in varying markets.
Yeah. So we are looking at Will Levis over 4.5 carries, minus 125 at 365, and Rivers are our best line, but pretty comparable prices everywhere. This one I like because this kind of, to me, so early in the year, Will Levis wasn't getting carries. The first, I don't know, seven games he played, he didn't go over this number. Maybe his first 5 games he played, he didn't go over this number. And then there were 3 in a row where he did. And then last week he went down to 2 carries. And I think my guess is that the books are kind of looking at that and being like, all right, this isn't really a guy that runs that much. He had these spike weeks, but then he came down. He's probably not going to be running much anymore. And I don't think that's the case. Again, if you follow Coach Speak Index, you will have read all the quotes from the last 3 weeks of the Titans talking about how they are making it a concerted effort to give Will Levis designed runs. Didn't happen last week, but the previous 3 weeks, they were giving him 15% of the designed runs. If he's anywhere close to that this week, we're looking at good value here. Plus, the Titans are a rare favorite where we might luck into a kneel down or 2 also. So I like this one.
Yeah, I'm liking this one a lot as well. I'll be hitting that. And hey, who knows? Maybe we get lucky there and we get another Will Levis meme birthed out of it this week. But there is one guy who we are going under on his carries here. Crazy Carl saying yards option any good here?
Let's take a look. So the yardage is not projecting as well.
Yeah.
So I would go for the carries if you can.
Especially because we're hoping for some of those potential kneel downs at the end there.
Yeah, the kneel down stuff helps too. Helps make the carries better than the yardage, I think.
Yeah. Milo, I mean, if you want to go for the home run, Milo is saying 7.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Will Levis.
Yeah, you can definitely try to ladder this a little bit if you're feeling frisky.
Yep. I also have to know, Milo, before the end of the season here, is that you in your photo or is that some kind of actor? It's a great photo.
Colbert, isn't it?
What?
Isn't that Colbert? I always thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's not Colbert.
No? Colbert with a gray beard?
I don't think so. I don't think Colbert has a gray beard.
Yeah, it is. I just Googled it. That's it.
It's been a minute. He says, yeah. It's been a minute since I've seen Colbert. I used to watch The Report all the time. And Crazy Carl saying Stephen Colbert's a big gambler. I did not actually know that.
I knew he was a huge Lord of the Rings guy. I didn't know he was a big gambling guy too.
I know he used to be a Sunday school teacher.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And David Montgomery saying, for those of us who are on the slower end of things, can you please say the team along with the name? I haven't heard some of these cats. Yeah. A pro tip is it is on the screen there, right underneath the name. It'll be the teams, and whichever team is first is the one where it is. But also, David, you play for the Lions. Wild Turkey saying mine is not a picture of me, if you were wondering as well. Thank you. I was curious there. Oh, Crazy Carl saying I was joking. I did not. I mean, I thought it could be.
It
Floyd
could be true. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
You know Ben Affleck is.
I did not know Ben Affleck is.
Oh yeah, Ben Affleck is a big gambler.
Oh,
He
right.
like he knows how to count cards, but he's very obvious about it. But all the casinos are like, well, it's Ben Affleck. We're not going to kick him out. One of the biggest stories I've ever heard was one time on the Strip, Ben and Jennifer Lopez, first time around, were there gambling, and the cocktail waitress brings Ben a drink, and he goes, "Oh, thank you so much." Tips her $100 chip, and she starts walking away. She's like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." She starts walking away. J-Lo goes, "No, no, no," and goes back, takes the chip off of her plate, and gives her a $5 chip instead. Like,
that's very funny.
Yep. Come on, come on, Ben. You could do so much better. Go back to Jennifer Gardner as he is now. How many times around has it been now? I think we're still we're on like 2.5. They are the couple that everybody hates. They're reminding me of me and my ex at this point. All right, one more here. Bryce Young under 2.5 carries.
Yep, this is another one where he owes us from last week. That stupid overtime Tampa Bay thing screwed us on this one too. Anyone who took it with me, and we're going back to it. This is a guy that they do not run designed runs for, like none. He might have one all. He can scramble. He'll be dropping back to pass plenty probably against Philly because they're going to be playing from so far behind. But that pretty much eliminates any kneel down equity. He's got to get 3 scrambles basically.
Yeah.
And we're getting plus 145 on it. So I like this one a lot.
And, they're not exactly about to run designed runs for their quarterback who escaped from the Keebler factory.
No, they're not.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it as far as the props that we have for you. I'm going to recap them here, but drop your questions in the chat because, as you know, this is that time where we are here open forum for you for the next 20 minutes or so to get you rolling, get you ready for the week. We have chopped off Cedric Wilson here, but we still have Nick Chubb over 10.5 rushing attempts, plus 102 at the FanDuel. Calvin Ridley under 67.5 receiving yards, plus 100 on the bet, 365. Tony Pollard under 16.5 rush attempts, even money at Caesars. Sam Darnold over 20.5 completions, minus 136 on the river. Mac Jones under half an interception, plus 134 at FanDuel. And continuing the list here, Rachaad White, we're going back to the well, under 40.5 rushing yards, minus 107 at Penny. Blake Corum under 18.5 rushing yards, also at the 365. And Will Levis over 4.5 rushing attempts. Bet Rivers minus 125 there. And Bryce Young under 2.5 rush attempts, plus 140 at Bet 365. All right, Derek, do we want to head back over to the unabated simulator here? And first, I
got a couple audibles. We okay throwing in a couple more plays?
I mean, I'm down to throwing a couple more plays if you are. I'm sure that everybody is happy about that. And then we'll go to Foster Moreau.
Yeah. Few markets just opened. So
yeah. That was not an inside joke, by the way. People are asking in the chat for Foster Moreau.
So we're looking at Josh Oliver over 8.5. Minus 110 is our best line. You can see the Blitz is projecting like 22. Coming back off injury this week, they said he should be good to go. Again, if you've been listening to the coach speak, they love Josh Oliver, more for his blocking than anything else. They've called him the best blocker in the league. But because of that, he's been on the field a lot. Even since Hawkinson's come back, they've played Oliver a lot. And so, I mean, this could be 1 catch or 2 catches. And obviously it's a game that, we like the Minnesota passing game anyway. So it's a low bar for a guy that, could wind up seeing like 10% of the targets on average.
Yeah, they do, even with Hawkinson there, they still do love throwing to Josh Oliver.
Yeah. And then one more. We're looking at, we have to refresh because it wasn't there before.
The Panthers really have a David Moore at receiver now.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good actually. I mean, he's bounced around from a few teams, but when he gets a chance, like he can. I played him in fantasy last week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're looking at DJ Moore under. Is this the number that I wanted? Yeah, under 5.5 plus 110. Slow pace game against the 49ers. I'm not big on the Bears.
I mean, that's all you have to say.
In general right now, yeah. I think he's banged up a little bit. This is, he's got a quad, and he said he's optimistic about playing this week. So there's the chance that he's limited. There's just the chance that he doesn't get 6 catches, because that's a lot. Keenan Allen has been getting the bulk of the carries. Oh, wow. We're getting that moved the wrong way, but that's okay. Keenan Allen has been getting the bulk of the targets up until last week when DJ Moore got $1 billion. I think this is an overreaction to one game where DJ Moore got $1 billion. So yeah, I'll take the under here.
Yeah, I actually have a couple on this game because I know Cole Kmet popped up earlier. I'm not sure if that's still there, but I had that, and then I had the Caleb Williams under.
Yeah, I have the Caleb Williams under already too.
That's always one of the things that I am very, very happy to hear. All right, should we talk about Foster Moreau here?
Sorry, one more. We were going to do this one before, so I'll talk about why. So we're going to do maybe not. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm on blended. That's why we got to go on to the Blitz. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so Tyreek Hill under 4.5 plus 130. This opened at 5.5 everywhere. It's been bet down. The only book that had the 4.5 for a while was FanDuel. I kind of wanted to see what the 5.5s moved to see if maybe we got like a 130 or 140 or 150. Looks like the 130 is the best we're going to get, so I'll take it. Tyreek's just not himself this year. Yeah. Defenses are spending a lot of energy covering him. We're seeing Jonnu Smith, A-Chain kind of getting more targets as a result. Tyreek's kind of lost a step. His separation hasn't been as good this year. Plus, they're facing the Jets, so there's a chance that they're just winning and not having to throw that much.
Sauce
Gardner's hurt, which I'm a little surprised that's not causing the market to go the other way just from public money. But I think it says something that's still moving down.
Yeah. Worth pointing out here, Yahtzee, this is a highly predictive trend. The only game he's gone over 100 yards this season was the game where he got arrested.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I took this one yesterday at plus 128.
Yeah, I was just waiting it out to see if we get a better number. I mean, 2 points is fine, but it looks like that's the best we're going to get.
Yep. Andrew Brennan saying, as someone facing both Tyreek and DJ in a win-win situation, I approve of both of these. You might want to go the opposite way and hedge yourself out there, bro. But yeah. Braylon Heffernan saying, got to get back to work. People have a great weekend and good luck. Hey, good luck to you too, man. Thank you so much for being here with us. All right. Now it's time to talk about Foster Moreau. Props Time Live and AZ Flights have been very, very patient waiting for us here.
All right. Let's talk about our good friend Foster Moreau. You have to pay some heavy juice for it. You can see the Blitz is projecting more than a full reception over. When you account for the odds you have to pay, I mean, oh my God, Summer minus 204. I don't see, this is what I would do about Foster Moreau. So it's not showing enough value where I like snap take it. Like 17% is not that high. But because we're seeing, I guess, the market move up like this, and we have some minus 204s, minus 200, minus 190s, I think you can probably wait this out. Wait till it goes to 2.5 and see if somewhere offers it like 2.5 plus 150 or something like that. And then that will wind up being more value than paying the steep price on the 1.5.
Yeah. Prop Time Live saying, hey, what about 2.5 at plus 20 there? There you go. That's the exact kind of thing that you're looking for. The other thing that you could potentially do, I mean, throw it in a parlay with something else. If you've got, I mean, Lord knows we love the Alvin Kamara numbers every week. Or Derek Carr completions, even something that's got a little bit of correlation in it. But that might be another way that you want to attack this one. Jeff Rappaport asks, does the Jakobi Meyers heater continue? We've been printing money on him. I know I had him last week. I mean, he's been having a phenomenal season.
Yeah, I think people just don't realize how good of a receiver he is.
The Patriots sure didn't.
And he's been getting so much volume. It does look like the market has kind of caught up this week, though.
Yeah. Plus, there's questions about Aiden O'Connell play.
It does look like he's going to on that.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to play, right?
It's looking that way.
Yeah. You cut out there for a second, but you're good. We heard it the second time. All right. Oh, plus 168. Going back to Foster Moreau there, plus 168 at FanDuel. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a good number. I think you can hit that. Is our see if the simulator picks it up yet.
Yeah.
Still got the 1.5. I want
I
to see
think
what the number is going to be, but I would imagine that's going to be a very bettable line.
Yeah. There's some threes out there. All right. Maybe you're
Actually,
taking
why don't we run real quick? We can run the simulator, right?
yeah, let's do it.
Let's just see what it says the value should be. So
Mm-hmm.
tight end, receiving 7. Oh, and
Yeah.
29.
ETR also released AOC over this week.
It might have something to do with it. All right, so reception. So we would be looking at over 2.5, right? So it says fair value is even money. So if you're getting it at plus 168, I think you're pretty good. With Taysom Hill out this week, Foster Moreau should be seeing. I mean, he's been getting a good amount of run to begin with, but Taysom was eating up a lot of those snaps, so he's going to be on the field a good amount, I would think, this week.
Man, I am so mad. So mad. We finally hit peak Taysom. We finally did it. We got the game that we've been waiting so many years for. And then he goes and gets hurt.
I know.
Blows. I feel so bad for that poor guy. Like, come on. All right. We have talked about Foster Moreau. We have talked about Jakobi Meyers. It is time. We promised. Sports Videos asked Jonathan Brooks' workload trending up. Let's go to the Chuba train. We can talk about both players, but we got to talk about Chuba.
All right. Switch
Sports
back
Videos,
over.
is that a picture of you?
All right. So, Chuba. This is finally the week where I think we're probably jumping off of him. Well, there's a little value. There's a little value
there.
That's not bad. We did see Jonathan Brooks work in more last week. It was more in the red zone than anything else. It could have just kind of been, I meant to go back and look. I'm guessing it was kind of like a cluster of plays, like on the same drive, maybe. This is still Chuba's backfield. He's still going to get the majority of the work. But they are like, 2 touchdown underdogs against Philly or something. So as much as they want to run the ball, there's going to come a point where they're probably not going to be able to run it too much in this game. And we're not really getting much of a discount on his line relative to what we've been getting the past few weeks when you consider the horrible game script, even relative to other Panthers games, and the Jonathan Brooks question mark. So this one shows some value, but not as much as in past weeks.
Yeah, it might be time to hop off the Chuba train, at least for a week here. Ian says, hurt me. How low is Drew Lock yards this week? Oh, Lord, are we entering the Loctagon?
We can look at Drew Lock. Let's see.
The Loctosaurus.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's the lines are actually set 190-ish. I expected it to be lower than that. The Blitz is projecting pretty close to it. 16 is not enough value for me to think about hitting that. Unless you think that, and it's possible, if Drew Lock comes out and is kind of just okay, I mean, he could get benched for Tommy DeVito if DeVito's good enough to be the back, like healthy enough to be the backup. Because presumably the Giants do want DeVito starting the rest of the year to tank.
It's true.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see.
All right, Wild Turkey asks, Braylon Allen, 15-plus carries on Hard Rock at plus 140. This is one well worth looking into. Like, if there was a game for this guy to pop off, this is the one. I don't think Breece Hall is going to – or Breece Hall, he's doubtful, I believe, at this point, but he's not playing.
He's doubtful. Yeah, he's unlikely to play. It looks like Braylon Allen's going to be the guy.
Yeah. Looks
like some value, depending on the price you can get it at. Did someone say they were looking at 15.5?
Yeah.
15.5, I would not be betting.
But it's at plus 140.
Still probably not good enough for me, I don't think. I mean, even because we're projecting almost a full carry under that, so plus 140 is not going to be enough. I mean, it should be his backfield, but they will probably work in Isaiah Davis a little bit as well. They'll probably be falling behind and being forced to pass, and this is kind of a pass-heavy offense to begin with. given some of the uncertainty, this isn't enough value for me to bet that.
I do love the fact that Braylon Allen is very good at football, and like I feel like there's a path where they say, where he's just popping off, and they're like, feed the hot hand. That being said, you are right. Very pass heavy team. We will have to see about it. Yahtzee saying Sterling Shepard or K-Dot yards.
We can take a look at them.
And while we're looking at them there, Crazy Carl says, didn't Derek say that he looks for higher projection discrepancy for passing yards than most other markets? That is absolutely true.
Yes, that is definitely true. I very rarely bet the passing yards. I will look at completions. I will look at attempts far more often than I will do yards. So it looked like Otten, there was really no value on. Shepard, also really no value on.
Yeah, sorry, guy. Nothing there for you, Yahtzee. Stephen Hocker says, projection for Garendo. Isaiah Garendo opened up at 69.5. Very nice. Moving up now.
Yeah, we can take a look at him. I think the Blitz is a little lower on him than some other systems around the industry. I know for fantasy, it doesn't love him as much as some other places. Yeah, so it's showing some value on the under, and he's like, everyone's talking about him this week. He was the top waiver wire guy for season-long fantasy. He's going to be one of the highest owned guys for DFS. He's young. He's a rookie. He's exciting. People love him. If you're going to bet his under, I'd just wait on it. It's going to keep moving up, I think, just from the hype, and you'll get a better number by waiting. So for me, I'm not jumping on this yet. But I'm certainly not betting the over.
Yep. All right. We do have set the screen coming up in a couple minutes here. So we are going to be able to take a couple more questions, and then we're going to have to go. But let's see. I bet Lock TD at 7-1. Good luck, Derek. We already talked about that from Crazy Carl. Ken Walker carries from Derek.
He didn't practice yesterday, so we're not even sure if he's
my fantasy team.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if there are lines available on him. Okay. Maybe there's been news since we started the show. Either way, not a lot of value for, I guess if you're getting this 13.5, it's okay, but it's not great given the injury uncertainty with him. I'd want to look into him more before I bet him to make sure I'm comfortable with what his workload's going to be in this game specifically.
Andrew saying he just was listed as questionable. Okay, a couple more here. Changing 500 asks Travis Homer. Oh, where was he?
I doubt they have Homer props available.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roshan's out. DeAndre Swift seems legitimately questionable.
And Yahtzee's asking about Swift props as well.
Yeah, nowhere's offering Homer props right now. I would imagine because if Swift is out and they offer him as like a 2.5 carry thing, it's going to be an easy loss for them. Not a lot of value on Swift's over yardage. I think the attempts were kind of right on the borderline for me. Yeah, like that's pretty good. My only concern is just that he's not healthy himself, because he's been getting the bulk of the carries for this team. And now with Roshan out, and Travis Homer's really like more of a scat back kind of, like he's not a guy you're really going to give the ball to on the ground very much. Like this could be a heavy workload for DeAndre Swift, assuming he's healthy enough to get that workload. So I've been very tempted to hit this one. I haven't done it yet, but I do like it. So if you want to go for it, go right ahead.
All right, we're going to try and speed through these last couple here. But then I am going to have to cut you guys off after here. Lucky Jim, you're going to be the last one in. But Milo says if he's going to be questionable, if Walker's going to be questionable, Charbonnet may have some value here.
Well, right now I'm projecting him as a backup, so this isn't really going to be reflective. But if you think there's a chance Walker doesn't go, then yeah, this would be a free square if Walker doesn't play.
Yeah, but also worth pointing out that we'll see. He's only questionable. He's probably going to play.
Yeah, if he's questionable today and he practiced a little today, I would think he's probably going to go.
Yep. Brooke KGB says Barkley under rushing playing with fire 113.5 in an NFL game.
I mean, it's insane. Like it's just stupid. At this point, I might hit this myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
We got 124.5. Oh, well, that's heavily juiced at ESPN bet.
I was looking at that. I'm like, wait a minute, but you have to be minus 170 for it. I mean, it's an absurd number.
Yeah.
How many players will ever have a mean, or I guess a median expectation of 113 yards? I get that Barkley's doing what he's doing this year. I get that it's against the Panthers and they're huge favorites and they'll probably just be able to run all game.
But it's worth pointing out that in a situation like this, when they're in a blowout lead, we have precedent for this where he said not play the young guys.
Yeah, exactly. We will most likely see some Kenneth Gainwell and some Will Shipley this game. It's a matter of, does Saquon get there first? And this is a high number for him to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't bet Saquon unders a lot, but I am very tempted by this one. That number is way too freaking high.
Yeah. All right. Last couple here. We have George Kittle over 53.5 receiving yards, minus 110 at ESPN bet, or at Bet365.
Hold on, give me one second. I just want to look at something here. Okay. We're looking at George Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Not a lot of value on Kittle, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, we do have to go through these a little bit quick here because the last one I promised. Lucky Jim, how many carries do you project for Kareem Hunt?
I'm projecting Pacheco for a little more this week. Yeah, pretty much in line with the books. Maybe a little bit of value there, but it's uncertain enough where that's not enough value for me to take it because we really don't know what the split is going to be.
Yep. And rest in peace, my Samaje Perine overs. I think I'm too scared at this point to continue betting him. I'll take another look at him, but probably finally off that gravy train.
He still played last week. He still got his reps.
Yeah, like they like him in the pass game. It still works. I might still play it this week. We'll see. But for now, guys, that is going to do it for us. Again, one more time here. We do have the Unabated Cyber Monday sale going on, up to 40% off on premium. You get a year for $13.88. It is the best price that you are going to get this year and beyond. Quite frankly, it's probably never going to be back at that number. So pick up a year of Unabated right now. You can pair it with the Blitz for the rest of the season and make some money with us on the way down as we start to wind down. But of course, we still have plenty of weeks left, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, and more. And we'll be here for all of that with you. But for now, I got to go and set the screen ready for our NBA members. And so we will say goodbye. Best of luck, everyone. We'll be right back here next week. And as always, let's cash some tickets. See you next time, folks.